Hello, Dota 2 fans, coming back for the Game 2 of a Best of 2 series between Ground Pound and Well Worded. Well Warded. That's going to be annoying me this entire night. So, Game 2. Game 1 went Ground Pound's way as they took it pretty handily with a pushing lineup that outpushed Warded's pretty well. And basically, Well Warded were relying on being able to shut down whatever Ground Pound threw at them, and they weren't able to successfully do it in a timely fashion and let Ground Pound get out of control. So, as it stands right now, they're Well Warded are down in the series, so they're gonna look to try to bring this back and make this a 1-1 to tie the series. And Ground Pound are looking for their first win, their first 2-0 win to take home. And so, without further ado, let's go right on to the draft here. Messing up my hotkeys, there we go. Alright, so, we see Batrider got banned out, and it looks like Well Warded are saying, okay, we're going to respect banned out that lone druid. They don't want to deal with that again, and I don't blame them. And instead, they're going to pick up the Darkseer, and meanwhile, Ground Pound are going to go ahead and deny the Weaver. So, a fairly, actually a quite different banning phase than we saw last game. A few respect bans coming out. Ground Pound is saying, okay, Wisp isn't banned out. We're going to go ahead and pick it up. And with the Wisp, that's going to give him a little bit of more global presence, which is something that Well Warded were kind of pseudo going for last game with the Nature's Prophet pickup, but weren't really totally committing to any sort of strategy. As I said, they had a lesser push strategy, but really, it wasn't too solid. It was sort of one of those, we will punish you if you lose fights kind of pushing strategy. And as we always see with the IO, the Chaos Knight gonna drop down for Ground Pound. I've seen the IO Chaos Knight combo come through the drafting phase once before in a game that they really just did so well. So we're looking to see them go ahead and do equally as well. This is a combo that really punishes being out of position and being alone. And if you get caught out, you're in a pretty bad position. Although if you do shut down the Wisp early on, it's not too hard to fight against. Delay that level 6 until your teammate is strong enough to fight the Chaos Knight ganks, and you should be fine. Well Warded, though, are going to go ahead and pick up the Jakiro on top of the Darkseer. So with the vacuum right on into the ice path is going to be a pretty good place for them to be. Into the macro pyre, drop the wall on top of that. You got a wombo combo that'll combo the wombo out of many wombo combos to come. So Well Warded saying, okay, we don't want the Nature's Prophet. We don't want you to have the Nature's Prophet because you got the Wisp. So we're going to take out the Nature's Prophet. And just like that, Nature's Prophet's going to go down, and it looks like Alchemist is going to go down as well. His unstable concoction scaling pretty well with the Darkseer's vacuum. Although I wouldn't put it past Well Warded to go ahead and say, okay, ban out the Alchemist, go right ahead. We're going to pick up a Magnus. Even if you just picked up an Enigma, I think that'd be good. But of course, with the IO Chaos Knight, you can wait for the first initiation and then go ahead and TP in. But again, if you're able to shut down that Chaos Knight and able to shut down the IO, you're golden. Two of the fundamental forces of nature at work in that combo, and it's pretty scary, to be honest. I completely forget which one's which, but I saw something recently that described them all. I think it was Keeper of the Light, Enigma, Chaos Knight, and IO. That were the 4 fundamental forces of nature, and it was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting, and I enjoyed it. I think it was something like Enigma, Gravity, Keeper of the Light, Electromagnetism, IO, Weak Nuclear Force, and Chaos Knight, Strong Nuclear Force, or something of the matter. But whatever it was interesting, and if you guys want to go check that out, you can go right ahead. It actually opens up a lot of lore and a lot of sense behind some of the lines that they say to each other. It's quite interesting. Anyway, so looks like Lifestealer was banned out as well as the Bane. So a Ground Pound thinking of picking up the Lone Druid again. They took out the Bane. which is one of the lone druid counters, although we didn't entirely see that in the last game. It did help a little bit, did mitigate a little bit. No, they're going to go for the Visage, so we see the definite makings of a tri-lane right now with Ground Pound. You got the Io, the Chaos Knight, the Visage. One hell of a force to fight against. Visage with the slow and the Grave Chill and all in the damage that he does. Soul Catcher just doing a lot of bursts depending on how much damage you deal out initially. It's just... And then you got the Chaos Knight slow. You can bring them close to you, and then the IO, which doesn't do anything too much in the early game, except with the Reality Rift, gonna make it so that his tether does add a stun on top of that. But aside from that, I mean, it's just a strong tri-lane. Well warded though. Again, adding one combo wombo on top of that wombo combo to wombo the combo out of wombo combos, and there was no diversity in that. I'm sorry. I'm usually a bit more creative in that. But I wasn't able to quite well think of it that time, so. So, Naga Siren, one of the better initiators in the game. In fact, one of the best initiators and one of the best escapes in the game. The sleep, able to set up so much, and the sleep also able to get them out of bad situations. You got the Chaos Knight initiating into a situation where you can't win. Well, okay. Well, now you got the sleep. And not only that, but it looks like you got a bit of a battle of the illusions going on here. We got Chaos Knight popping out, tons of illusions. You got Naga Siren popping out, tons of illusions. If there aren't, at any given point, 20 illusions on the ground in the later game, I will be heavily disappointed in both these heroes. Including the Darkseer. That wall should be netting at least 5. At the very least. 5 more. Hell, put a Shadow Demon somewhere in one of these lineups. Anyway, with the puck going out for the mid lane for ground and pound, and now they have just left to pick up an offlaner, and well warded with the Dazzle. Gonna make it so that his armor reduction, his team-wide AoE armor reduction is gonna help give these guys auto attack damage. So now we're just left to see what well warded go for their final pickup. And as it stands right now, they have the makings of a good tri-lane. They have a Darkseer in the off lane. Go ahead and pick up a mid. And ground pound, taking out the Gyrocopter, which I don't think is the greatest ban in the world. They do have the best team to deal with it. The IO Chaos Knight combo. Able to pull the Gyrocopter out and focus him, which is something that a Gyrocopter really can't deal with. He does well being able to stay away from the main focus and deal tons of damage when all the enemies are close to him but not attacking him. If he goes down, then there's really no point in having him there. He's nothing more than a glorified range creep that dies really fast, and that's exactly what Chaos Knight and IO can do. And with a hero like Naga Siren, it isn't as easy to pull him out. So I imagine from this team, we're gonna see a strong team fight mid in the form of maybe a Magnus, or they might even run the Dazzle mid and throw an Enigma in the jungle. Their wombo combo lineup is not quite wombo enough. We gotta put the W in the wombo. I don't even know if that makes sense in the context of a joke, but we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so coming into the final pick phase, we see well warded took out the Anti-Mage. Why? Ground Pound need a soul laner, and they banned an Anti-Mage. Not entirely what I thought would have been the smartest thing to do. Anti-Mage not really able to soul lane. In fact, when you pick up an Anti-Mage, you pretty much lose your lane. They could be thinking that Chaos Knight and IO are gonna go ahead and lane on their own, puck mid, and then Visage with the Anti-Mage, but I don't quite see why. No, I don't think the Anti-Mage was a smart ban out there. I think something like a Bounty Hunter would have been smart to ban out there. Bounty Hunter or any real offlane. Bounty Hunter, Beastmaster, something along those lines. A really good offlaner would have been a better ban. But of course, they could have a different idea than I do, and that's all right. Alright, so sitting in this final pick stage, and they know just use as much time as possible because they got it all. They got all that reserve time to use. It's not like we're here waiting, and they go ahead and they're gonna offlane the Magnus, or they're gonna offlane the puck and mid the Magnus. So ground pound picking up their own wombo for the combo, and well warded left to well, it looks like ground pound are in the opposite position that well warded were in. Well warded obviously going for the full team fight, and ground pound deciding that they were gonna try and pick up a pseudo team fight team just to try to counter the team fight. And I guess it's smart. And it looks like, well, we're going to throw a Kunkka into the mid lane. So go for kind of a dual core pseudo Kunkka semi carry with the Naga full on carry, which Naga gonna be able to tank up against the Chaos Knight rather well. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. For the second time, we have Azer Veneer playing on the Magnus for ground pound. Tenkin on the Chaos Knight Coffee playing for the puck. Doyle points on the Wisp, and Kodiak throwing it down. Chilling Graves on the Visage. Meanwhile, waxing it up, we got Wax in the Darkseer. Wardmancer throwing out the splashes with his nice little immortal whale blade. I'm sorry, it's a whale hook. His blade, I don't know what it's called, but it throws the whale in the torrent. Anyway, Bravebird playing the Dazzle. Cryptic Dark on the Jakiro, and Ajke pulling it together and throwing it down with the Naga Siren. So the Wisp again picking up the smoke. Although they're not 5-man ganking, he just has it to have it, and that's not too bad to do. If your mid ever needs a gank, you go ahead and smoke up, and you're good. Azer Veneer guarding the bottom rune. Puck got his eyes on the top. So it looks like Magnus is going to offlane, and Puck is going to throw down the middle lane. Not too bad of a combo. I think that's the best. Puck might be able to phase shift out most of the tiebringers, and Azer Veneer is going to pick himself up an illusion rune. Not too bad. He's going to be offlaning solo against the tri-lane. So just going for the XP right now. Not really worried too much about finding gold. A Magnus is pretty gold dependent until he gets his Blink Dagger up, and then not really after that point. He's mostly level dependent. Get the fast 6 up, and I think that's exactly what they're going for. But they trust his ability to do what he needs to, and ground pound giving him the offlane role. So meanwhile, we got exactly what I predicted. A tri-lane consisting of the Grave Chiller in the form of Visage, Doyle points, and Tenkin. That's going to be a pretty strong tri-lane. And it looks like Darkseer knows it, and Darkseer would be one to be able to fight against it. All he needs to do is get his Ion Shell in, and then sit back and watch the gold fly in. And if ground pound are slightly competent, they'll try to deny you, and they'll do it for the most part, but you will get a few last hits sneaking in there, and that's the most an offlaner can hope for. So, Wardmancer doing exactly what he needs to do, harassing, getting the gold he needs, and we'll take a look at the gold income for all these players. It looks like Azer Veneer getting caught out in a fairly bad position. He doesn't be able to skewer on out, so able to skewer away despite the net, and he's going to be just fine. And we see the Ion Shell doing what he needs to do, actually put a lot of damage on Tenkin, who's going to back off for a little bit, and Wax is going to be free to get a few more last hits. So Azer Veneer knows with that skewer he's pretty much safe from most of what well Warded can throw at him, and he's going to abuse that. Although if he sits too far forward, the Shakira is going to punish him. And it looks like they're showing their face. He's going to skewer out, and they're going to be sitting on the sidelines not really accomplishing anything. They are going to be able to zone him out though, which is good. Zoning out the Magnus denies him both the XP and the gold, instead of just the gold, and that means that Magnus is going to have delayed ultimate, but as the wave pushes and they're not stack pulling, they're just going to go for it. No, he's going to walk away. So they're splitting the wave into 3 equal parts of XP, which means that they're just level 2. Well, Naga actually hitting level 3. Magnus still level 2, so okay. I guess they are successful in this tri-lane. Keeping the Naga on top of a level, or higher level than the offlaner, is exactly what you want to do. And Wax getting spotted out by Kodiak, but Kodiak not able to do too much to him right now. With his Grave Chill, or Soul Assumption rather, he's going to be able to deal a little bit of damage if he gets too harassed, or if he harasses enough. That laugh means either Naga Siren said lol in the team chat, or she got a deny. I'm guessing the latter.
Missing middle.
Yep, I'm hearing all the team chat little callouts right here, but looks like Puck doing a pretty good job sitting on the double damage rune, so if he decides he wants to initiate on this Kunkka, he's going to have double damage backing him up, and that's going to be pretty scary for the Kunkka to deal with. Magnus getting the charge, doing exactly what a Magnus should be doing. In fact, whenever I play Magnus, I love this. Many people don't understand, but a charge alone doesn't do a whole lot, but when you charge on your tower, you can pretty much secure an easy kill. And all too often, I'm Magnus against a Pudge in the mid lane, and whenever he comes up and hooks me, or decides he wants to go ahead and try to get the rod on me, I go right behind him and I pull him right under tower, and and then what has he got to deal with it? He's taking tower hits. I'd like to see him deny himself under tower. Kodiak still doing a little bit of harass damage. It looks like blocking out the clarity and dealing pretty much the Soul Catcher, giving him a little bit of extra damage if he wants to throw it out. But at the moment, just gonna wait on it. Great Bird finding Azer, but Azer got some fairly good positioning right now. All it takes though is one really good initiation, and it looks like a cluster of what the hell just happened just went down, and Darkseer picking up a double kill against this tri-lane. Took out the IO, took out the Chaos Knight, lost his own life, but with the first blood and the double kill is going to give him plenty of gold to say, you know what, you got me, but in a weird twisted sort of way, I got you. So now he's in a fairly good position. He's level 5, higher level than Tenken. He's gonna show his dominance in this lane. The ping's coming out. They're not sure what they want to do. They want to go on this Magnus, but they can't really. It looks like Puck saying, okay, I see you, but I'd rather have your courier, and he's gonna get the reality rift out. In fact, he's gonna drop a dream catcher, a dream coil out, and he's gonna pick up the kill. No. Kunkka able to get right away, and Ground Coffee not able to find a kill. In fact, almost dying himself to tower hits, and that's a huge victory for Kunkka. If he doesn't die, he's going to be securing lots of XP, lots of gold. Getting forced off the lane obviously isn't the most glorious of outcomes, but it's better than dying. And as night falls on after day 1, 2 kills on the board for Ward Watcher, or well warded, and Ground Pound picking up their own. All happening, of course, in the top lane. We see a rotation down. Kunkka going down to the bottom lane. Does not have X marks the spot, so I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish here.
Middle is missing.
You don't really want to try to gank without X marks the spot versus the Magnus, who can just TP away. And it looks like the Magnus himself getting a call out from the Puck. Mid is missing. Okay, well, I'm going to hug tower. And with 4 here, they're just wasting time. Wasting precious time that they really don't want to. Double Ion Shell pushing back the wave, doing a little bit of damage to this tower. Considerable damage to the tower, although not too much. Puck getting ready to do whatever it is Puck does, but they're still all... No, Kunkka's rotated back into the mid lane. So now he's a full level behind the Puck. Torrent gonna miss. Puck not exactly needing to phase shift there, but it doesn't cost mana, only a cooldown, and why not, right? Make it look fancy as possible. I think he imagined that Kunkka would have led that off a little bit more, but he would have been safe if he didn't find a phase shift. But playing it safe is always the smartest way to go, and it looks like Well Warded are going to scare off the Magnus again. Magnus only level 5 at 7 minutes. So still doing better than the Dazzle, but actually Naga Siren is level 5 as well. And Puck has been spotted. He is going in mid lane. They're going to drop the Poison Touch on him. The Ice Path going to give him a little bit of extra staying ability. And it looks like Magnus going to come right in. The Shallow Grave being dropped on Bravefer, but I think he's going to die anyway. As a cooldown, no. Just the orb is going to be enough to pick up the kill. 2 and 2. And looks like Kunkka throwing out everything he's got and missing both. I think he would have been smart just to go after the Magnus in this occasion, but instead he's going to go after the Puck, who's going to pick up a Haste Rune and turn it right around on a Wardmancer. Block out the kit. Just playing cat and mouse with him right now, and Magnus able to evade out a little bit more, and looks like Puck doing what he can, and I think this Puck actually might find a kill. How much time does he have left on this Haste Rune? Yeah, Puck is definitely going to find a kill in here. No, Dazzle rotates in and keeps him alive with a heal. The slow, not able to go through the Haste Rune, and Darkseer saying, okay, you want to stack? Well, I'll go ahead and contest that. And it looks like Reality Rift into Wax, doing plenty of damage, but they're not able to do too much. The Vacuum pulling him right on in, but a high roll on the stun is going to mean that he's going to go down, but he's going to take the Wisp with him. The IO, sorry, is going to go down with him. 3 and 3 right now at 9 minutes. We see the golden XP. Again, near even in gold, but the XP is dropping to 1,500. It's exactly how it looked last game. And right now, Well Warded need to go, okay, this is going pretty similarly to last game. Let's go ahead and try to shut some of these guys down. Magnus, not the greatest farm, sitting 10 and 0 at 10 and 9 minutes, but he is level 6. And the ping's coming out on Wax. Every gank attempt on him so far has been unsuccessful. I mean, they've gotten the kills, but he's gotten return. Looks like Tidelander dropping a torrent. Not doing too much in Wax. Getting called out, getting a few stuns on him. A high rollout on this Chaos Bolt. But I think he's going to be a... No! The stun from the Little Familiar is able to keep him in place long enough for Massage to pick up the kill. And it looks like Ground Coffee gonna get hit by the torrent of Line Torrent. He's gonna phase shift out absolutely nothing, but the Dream Coil is gonna be near the boat. Not hitting, not gonna go far enough. And with that regen rune that the Puck has, he's gonna be just safe. So Puck sitting on the high ground, looking down to him, saying, you can't get me, nana boo boo. Phase shifting out, trying to phase shift out the hit, but some next level game sense by Wardmancer tells him that he was going to try to it, and he walks straight in the path of the orb and gets hit by it. You can't outrun an orb, dude. As it stands right now, a lot of passive play coming out. Both teams just trying to get gold. Trying to get gold, trying to get levels. Ashk sitting at the top of the CS board, got his power treads up and working on the Blade of Alacrity. He's probably picking up a Diffusal Blade. A really good item to have, especially when you can pop out a ton of illusions at a Diffusal Blade themselves. And Wardmancer getting hit by the orb again. Dropping a 200 gold, the Torrent missing, the Familiars going around the behind, but not going to find him. They're just going to go ahead and just put a little bit of damage on this tower. Meanwhile, Cryptic Dark jumping through the jungle. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to accomplish too much with this this little embarkment right here, but all in all, they're just defending the tower, and that's exactly what they want to do. Continue to have the map control equal on both sides. Don't lose towers early. More speed or move speed. Completely faster than highest move speed. So even with a haste rune, you can't outrun the orb. Although you can damn well try and probably get pretty far without it hitting you. And Wax getting stunned out by the Familiars. It's taking a Grave Chill to the face, taking a lot of damage. A Soul Assumption would deal, bring him probably down to half health, but with 4 heroes rotating into the top lane, it looks like Kunkka leading the charge. Captain of the ship. We might see a little something happen here as 3 heroes rotating in behind. Cryptic Dark, Brave Bird, Wax going out from behind, and Ground Pound sense it. They duck on into the jungle. Meanwhile, it looks like Ace Veneer spotting out the Naga Siren, and Puck able to finish up the kill. So while they rotated in, they left the Naga Siren completely open. Familiar is doing a bit of stun, catching 3, but they're saying, okay, that's the most we want. We just want to stun you. And here comes the rotations in. They have a Waiting Rift and a Dream Coil on all 4. Here comes the Reality Rift doing plenty of damage. The boat coming out but completely missing. That was a fail boat here as Wax taking a lot of damage but dealing a lot as well. He's so tanky. But it looks like Azervini are going to catch out Cryptic Dark. The Reality Rift going to pull him right on back to the fight. And that's a 3-for-1. Rather, it was a 4-for-1 as Naga Siren went down in the bottom lane as well. Naga Siren, only one left to really defend this. She's close to a Diffusal Blade. But now, Ground Pound are 8-4 right now. And although they're not pushing racks at 14 minutes like last game, they most certainly are doing plenty of damage. When we look at the golden XP graphs, and they're dipping quite wildly, like almost exactly like they were in the same exact areas that they were in the last game. And here comes Naga Siren, setting up with the sleep. It looks like Shakiro trying to get a nice path out, and he is able to find it. Catching Azer Vernier, catching Kodiak. It looks like the RP, though, going to keep him alive for a little bit longer. The net and the Poison Touch going to drop him down. And Wax able to pick up the kill. Looks at the boat coming out. Is it going to hit? No, it is not. The Torrent as well is going to miss. So they're now on the run as Chaos Knight turning around.
Thanks to you.
And he's got his Reality Rift ready to do whatever he needs to. In fact, Wax sitting right on close, but still tanky as ever. His Ion Shell is going to mean that he's going to do plenty of damage. And here comes Well Warded from the back.
Middle tower
And Ground Pound with some pretty excellent positioning here. Just keeping themselves alive. Keeping themselves protected. Magnus is coming in, but doesn't have RP to use. And gets torrented right on income. And here comes Chaos Knight with the Armlet. So he's going to be doing considerably more damage here, and with his naturally high HP regen, naturally high armor, and just naturally high tankiness overall, it's a really good item to pick up on a hero like a Chaos Knight. And they're going to group up as 5 and go ahead and push. So right now, Well Warded are doing exactly what they should be doing. Defend with as little heroes as you need, and with Wax as tanky as he is, you don't need too much. But as I say that, it looks like Puck going right from behind, dropping the Dream Coil, and the Wax is going to drop. The boat hitting on all, the Ice Path hitting on a ton, the Torrent hitting on a ton, but overall nothing becomes of it. In fact, they turn around and catch all 4. So I'm sorry, I said defend with as little as you need, but it turns out you need all 5. And I think a major misplay was had on the Darkseer's part as he got caught out on the behind, doesn't have his wall of replica up just yet, and wasn't able to do much against this team as he got caught out and pretty much left Well Warded to try to save him. And when they did, they just dropped 1 by 1. And they got some pretty good abilities out, but weren't able to back it up. And this tower is most certainly dead. First tower down at 16 minutes. It's not even going to go down. Well Warded are going to block out Acer Vernier's charge, and they're going to pick up the kill on him. And they're actually going to grab a Familiar as well before he hits the ground. So picking up a return kill. And all the team are low, and so they know they got to get back. And they're going to go ahead and turn around and try to get a tower of their own. AjK in the meantime, getting some solo farm. Exactly what we need, sitting at level 9 and at the highest CS on the board right now. Taking orbs to the face, got a Waning Rift though, and is there a Dream Coil to finish him off? There is a Dream Coil. You don't get to take it off with your illusions though, and he's just gonna juke. He's gonna juke, but the orb hits true. And Puck is gonna pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Well Warded are gonna take the first tower of the game at 17 minutes, and Puck isn't quite able to take out the mid-tier 1. So not exactly a trade, except, well, you did trade. You trade the Naga for a tower, but Naga kill doesn't go to everyone. Here comes Well Warded. They're throwing on the aggression out on this tier 2 as well. Here comes the teleports in. Try to defend and mass TP's in. It looks like they're going to try to go ahead and turn this right around. And here's the chase. Nope, they're going to go ahead. They're just going to stop. And
Radiant's bottom tower is under
mid-tier 1 does end up falling. Ace Vernier trying to take out mid-tier 2. And it looks like already wasting a charge. If he gets hooked out right now, he could take a lot of damage. No. Naga Siren doesn't have a Diffusal Blade up right now, so where illusions aren't going to be doing too much damage. And here comes the gank in from the Wisp and the IO, and the RP does get used out, and they're able to pick up the kill on the Kunkka, try to turn it around on the Naga Siren. I think she should have used her sleep there. I really think she should have slept there. As soon as they showed up, drop to sleep, and you're golden. And it looks like Puck gonna drop right behind and pick up the low health Naga Siren. So it's a 2 for nothing, as well as the mid-tier 1. And they're all here. They might just go ahead and try to take out the tier 1 bottom. Puck sitting on 2,000 gold. And the tower, less than half health. So they're most certainly going to be able to take out this tower right now, right here. 15 and 6 at 18 minutes. We take a look at the gold and XP graphs, and they're well in Ground Pound's favor in terms of XP. But in terms of gold, it's still rather shallow. So if there's any kind of silver lining, it's that. Although with this tower down, it isn't going to last too much longer.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So while one tier 1 tower is down on the Dire side, 2 have already gone down on the Radiant. And Puck picking up the mana boots. Meanwhile, Magnus has got his Blink Dagger. 19 minutes, not too shabby. Kunkka going down to the Chaos Knight, to the Iowa in the mid lane. And it looks like that was not a TP gank, that was just a full-on assault. So right now they have a relocate to use, and they can use it on anyone they want. In fact, they could probably just go on this on Naga Siren. She does have sleep, so she could get out of it if she wanted to. Instead, she's going to go ahead and use a link on Magnus. They're going to go ahead and push down the mid-tier 1, or mid-tier 2 rather. They're just going to let Naga Siren farm at the top. They know without Naga there, they have a high chance of doing what they need to do, and they're going to go ahead, throw some damage. Here comes the Magnus, dropping a 2-man RP, dragging him back, and the 2 supports just going down really fast. There's nothing that they can do, really. Kunkka getting a 3-second stun out on him. Not too great of a roll, but with the Dream Coil is going to mean that he's definitely going to go down. Naga Siren taking a lot of damage in the back foot, but taking out the Magnus with her. Although, with a Chaos Knight waiting in the wings, no, they're not going to quite go on her. They know Wax is there. Does he have wall yet? He does. Level 2 as well. So he figures it out. He's like, okay, I should have had the wall earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and pop up to level 2 now. And Naga Siren picking up her Diffusal Blade. If there's any chance, it's that Diffusal Blade. It's going to make Naga Siren an absolute nightmare to deal with. And then with a Wall of Replica Illusions, going to be able to do a lot of damage in and of themselves. So all in all, a fairly good chance they have right now. It looks like Kunkka jumping onto the mid lane. He does get a torrent out. Completely misses though, and he's going to walk in. No, he's going to pull on back there. Magnus TPing up ahead. It looks like the Ice Path barely catching him on the edge of his charge. This boat coming in, hitting on the Wisp. Is it gonna? Yes, it is. Wisp at very low HP. Azer Veneer as well. The vacuum pulling him in. He's gonna go down 1 for nothing right now. And Wax isn't done. He wants a familiar. TP scroll being used out. They're going ahead and going on the full retreat. And that leaves well warded to go ahead and try to put some aggression out on this mid-tier 1. Great fight for them.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And it looks like Puck getting a 2-man Dream Coil. And Tenkin reality rifting right into an Ice Path. The vacuum doing a little bit more damage. And it looks like Naga Siren trying to do what she can. Popping her illusions. Trying to take out the Kunkka and the Chaos Knight. But not entirely able to do so. And Puck finalizing the kill out on the Dazzle. And Cryptic Dark left to wait in the wings. And with 3 more seconds left on that Blink Dagger, that's most certainly a dead Jakiro. One more auto attack. There it flies. Shakira's dead. Ultra kill for coffee as they pick up 4 for 1. Actually, the Chaos Knight does end up going down, so it's a 4 for 2 out in that team fight.
Middle tower is under
And
attack.
middle tower gonna take some aggression. So guys, just a quick note, stick around, because after this game we're doing a post-game interview with Ground Pound's own Kodiak. So I'm looking forward to that one, as I've never done an interview before and I want to see how it works. It was a suggestion put out on the subreddit, the Reddit Dota2 subreddit, for those who don't know, about the want for more interviews. So I figure, you know what, why not give it a shot? So that's going to be happening right after this game, and we look forward to that. So
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's top tower taking a little bit of damage from Azer Veneer. He does have his Empower, which makes him do a little bit more damage, and that's going to be a major contributor as this fight goes on. The turret completely missing, and with the Poison Touch out on the Magnus, eventually stunning. Tower does go down. Visage picking up the kill. The Ice Path completely missing. Kodiak, though, caught in a very bad position, and he's going to fall. So it looks like... Puck going right behind. A 4-man RP! Dropping them all down with a Dream Coil. Just too much damage. Where did that come from? All the heroes fall as Naga Siren, alone in the wings, trying to do what she can to the tier 1 on the bottom lane. And she can do a lot. She's not quite burning it down just yet, but it's falling rather fast. But she's going to be trading a tier 1 bottom for her tier 2 top. And when she wasn't there with her team, that 4-man RP could have easily been saved by maybe a clutch song. The RP falls, but you get the song out, which means that they can't follow up on it. You have reset, regroup, and try again. This time without having to deal with an RP, but they didn't have that luxury as Naga Siren wasn't there. Here comes the Magnus, pulling out the Shakira, but there's what I'm talking about. The reset, and it looks like the wall into the vacuum. Perfectly set up, but the vacuum doesn't fall. Instead, the Chaos Knight doing plenty of damage, but he's gonna fall right now. Magnus able to pick up the Naga Siren in the wings, though. But he's gonna fall. 2 for 1. Going down, and Puck. Too slippery. I don't think they're gonna be able to focus him down. If anything, they're gonna try to go on the Wisp, but the Familiars stunning out the creeps so that they can't bring him down. Some good teamwork out from Ground Pound as they're able to take a good fight and only lose. Well, actually, I misspoke. Well warded, taking a good fight despite losing big time to an RP and just kind of evening it out a tiny bit. We look at the golden XP and it plateaued a little bit. In fact, it's coming up just a tiny bit, but in both respects, it's more than 10k. In fact, 15k in favor of Ground Pound. So, all in all, not too great of a position for the Well Award to be in. And there's the Manta Style out from the Chaos Knight, which is going to mean not only is it going to have the illusions from his ultimate, that's a whole 2 illusions, 3 at level 3, but he's also going to have the Manta Style drop in 2 more. And when you got Reality Rift with all those illusions with the buff from Armlet, you got a one-hit wonder. Quite literally, one hit on any support is enough to kill him. And even these creeps just taking a lot of damage. So right now, Well Ward, no, they're on the back foot, but they're doing what they can. Doing what they can to survive, and it can only mean so much. They do have a wall still. They do have Naga Siren still, who is trying her best to tank up. Familiar scouting out Roche, and they're pinging it. I think they want to go for Roche right now. Ground Pound. Gonna try to pick up their first Roche at 27 minutes. It's 28 and 12. So they quite obviously have the advantage in this game, and yet they're playing like they're playing passively. And with a Naga Siren on the field, that could be very bad for you if you let it go too long. With the pickup of a Roshan, though, that's going to mean a I mean, go for broke. Go and break the base when you've got an Aegis. Instead, they're gonna sit right on top of the Aegis. Not actually gonna go in. Not actually gonna commit.
Regeneration.
And here they go. They finally go in. They want to see that they are in no trouble, and
Tower is under attack.
they also want, looks like, Puck to get in position to force
Dire's bottom
Well Ward
tower
to make a
has
decision.
fallen.
And right now, a sleep in the Roche Pit would be absolutely wonderful, but it's not going to happen in time. In fact, is Naga-san with him this time?
Dire's bottom tower
Where is
under
Naga?
attack.
There she is.
Radiant's middle
So they're
tower
dealing with
is
an
under
Aegis right now. They're dealing with Chaos Knight, who's doing plenty of damage. There it is. There's the sleep going for a reset. They got a bad engagement, but the Orb still doing plenty of damage. The Ice Path, into the boat, into the vacuum, into the wall of Replica, doing plenty of damage. We got a 3-man RP in the back lines. Azavenir doing plenty of damage on his own respect. And here comes Chaos Knight coming back into this fight, doing lots to these teammates. And Soul Catcher, plus a few auto attacks. Visage picking up some kills. Chaos Knight picking up some kills. And that's a 5-man wipe. Tenkin picking up a triple. And looks like Visage picking up a double. Magnus disconnecting, reconnecting again. So they get a 5-man team wipe, and they get full carte blanche. Just go ahead and take out the base. And with it looks like Azavenir RP'd and then DC'd. Lots of acronyms flying out here. RP, charged, waved, and then said bye. So, they're gonna go ahead. All the well warded are up. So, time it took for this creep wave to get down there, then the tower is gonna fall. They were able to use up the Aegis on the Chaos Knight. If Chaos Knight didn't have Aegis, that could have gone their way. So, I'm really feeling good for them about this next fight. If they have everything up, everything ready, they don't have Song to set it up just yet, but they do have Wall up in 20 seconds. Song up in 30. So all you need to do is wait it out, turtle it out, and you've got a team that can deal plenty of damage. Chaos Knight is peaking soon. Well, okay, he's only level 16, but really doesn't get too much stronger than this until he picks up maybe a Sanjin Yasha or, sorry, a Heaven's Halberd. But aside from that, there aren't too many more things that you can go with the Chaos Knight, except for some little pocket tactics there. Naga Siren going to get exponentially stronger as time goes on, and as is Will Kunkka if he picks up a Crypt Blade soon. And here comes the silence, catching 3, not as much as you want, but still enough. The Wall of Replica, plus the armor drain, the vacuum isn't there yet, but you don't quite need it just yet. The boat doing plenty of damage. It looks like the Chaos Knight gonna go down here, just some auto attacks, and it looks like they're gonna turn right around Kodiak. The Ice Path keeping him in place. The X marks the spot just to be safe, and that's 3-0. Few ultis, and they're gonna go ahead and try to put some pressure on some towers now. Great fight for them. Was the vacuum used there? I didn't see it used. I don't think it was, but they didn't quite need it. He could have vacuumed to pull the Visage back in, and then instead of chasing down Visage, they could have probably chased down Magnus, but all in all, a great fight on their part. And now they're going to be sitting up a little bit. In fact, if we look at the Golden XP graphs, it's pretty wildly still in Ground Pound's favor, but that's a pretty high dip that, or raise that Well Ward are getting, but that's going to go back down pretty soon as Naga Siren going down 2 solo, 2 Puck in the mid lane. And she's going to go ahead and phase Blink. No, she's going to Orb John. And the vacuum pulling him right back in, so Puck going to go down. Visage trying to do what she can. Ayo getting away. And it looks like it's just Kunkka left here to do what to try to push. Is Tidebringering with double damage. He's going to go ahead and rotate on top and try to put a halt on this Magnus' push. 1 double damage, and there it is. Boom. Taking out almost that entire wave. So he's hitting relatively close to his crit. In fact, he's about 50 gold away if I remember correctly. The cost of the Crypt Blades recipe. And there's the 4 staff out on the Jakiro. So that fight, all in all, the really good fight that they took bottom, just giving them much more XP and much needed gold. Right now, Naga Siren got her Yasha and is going to try to go for a Manta style really soon. And Magnus pulling out the Darkseer, but the Darkseer too tanky, shrugging it off. Got a ultimate orb. Not entirely sure what he's going to do with that. I imagine a Hex. The silence going out the Waning Rift. The Dream Curl catching only Brave Bird, but not able to do too much. The phase shift pulling him out. And there's the Song of Siren. Catching 4. Catching 3, rather. The Vacuum. No, did catch 4. The Bow and the Vacuum doing insane amounts of damage, but Magnus pulling a 3-man RP. And Chaos Knight coming in on the back lines and just cleaning up. Naga Siren trying to do what she can. But there are too many illusions, too many heroes to deal with. They're not able to take out Magnus. Looks like Darkseer gonna go down. Magnus find them all. Puck find them all. Too much blink, too much chase. And that's 5 heroes down on the side of Well Warded. Ground Tenkin. Ground Pound Tenkin is gonna pick up an ultra kill. And they're gonna go ahead and put some pressure in on the mid tier 2 tower. And maybe even try to go ahead and try to break base a little bit.
Radiant's middle tower
Depending on how fast they're able to take down this tower. They got 30 seconds before they even need to worry about any real threat. But they're backdooring right now. And it's not going to work. So let's put a huge damper on their ability to push. And there's the glyph just saying, okay, you do a little bit of damage. Okay, we just revert it right back up. Here are the creeps though, which means that tower is going to fall. They don't have any real heroes in to defend. Song of the Siren was used in that last fight, which means they don't have anything. They just didn't catch enough heroes with the Song of the Siren. You need to catch out the Chaos Knight, you need to catch out the IO, but as I said, they don't need to be in the fight at the beginning. They can just teleport right back out, they can just teleport right on in mid-fight. They'll be just fine. Magnus catching out 3 from the base. The mech keeps him alive for a little bit, but not enough, and the armor disadvantage coming out from the Dazzle, but he's going to go down rather quick. No. Wax pulling up on the high ground, blocking out the Reality Rift. And it looks like Magnus catching 2 in the RP is going to pull out the Kunkka. 4 heroes down for nothing. But Naga able to pick up another, and the Soul Assumption going to finish him up. And there are the GGs being thrown. Good game. Well Warded, just weren't able to pull it back together in Ground Pound. Taking a commanding 2 games. Guys, you've been listening to Chicago Ted for this best of 2. Stick around for a post-game interview with our very own Ground Pound Kodiak. I'll catch you all for that coming right up.